All right, Jay, so I'll give you a rundown of how we do it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start off asking you questions, just general questions about the project. Some questions are going to be very direct and straightforward. Some are going to be more in-depth question, but that's the gist of what we're going to be doing here. Then after that, I'm going to come in and let my community ask questions as well, and then we'll do some duck races at the end, and we'll do some giveaways and trivias in the comments as the AMA is going on in the beginning. All right, so let's go ahead and get this cranking.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Safe Haven. I want to go ahead and let everybody know something. Everything that you hear in this AMA is not financial advice. You always have to do your own research. We are just here so you can talk to the team directly and gain information that you may not have otherwise obtained. And I want to let you guys know something just starting off. For everybody who is listening, please be respectful to the guests, both on the microphone and the comments. And to the guests, I ask the same thing. Please be respectful and patient with everybody. Understand language barriers. Understand that some people don't have the same knowledge levels and that some people have microphone and internet issues. So I would ask that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into this thing. So Jay, before we talk about the project, why don't we just talk about your background and you first? Because I like for everybody in here to get a feel for who my guests are, their backgrounds, because that's a good way to gain confidence in the team and the leaders of the project. So let's just talk about you first.
So, hello everyone, my name is Tommaso, I'm known as Jay in the community, and I am the founder and CEO of Vanity Global and the CEO and the founder of VNetwork, which is a project that is made under the same team of Vanity. I'm 23 years old and I have a background of blockchain of around 8 years, and I've been in the crypto token space for quite less than 2 years. Vanity is a project that was born in 2021 and became a registered company in 2022. And we have a strong background for all blockchain development related. I was a Python developer myself, a C and C++ and Python developer myself. And our team is based off me, my wife Lily, which is a co-founder and does all legal things, and then we have our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer Mazi or Marius, which handles everything about the marketing.
All righty, man. Thank you. Now that we've got done talking about you and we've got a feel for you, let's go ahead and get into the project questions. Now, when I do ask you these questions, man, I ask that you would answer it in a manner that would be both direct yet fulfilling. So that means let's make sure that we answer the question that's being asked, but at the same time, you can spend extra time speaking on different topics. I just want to make sure that all the questions get answered and everything gets heard completely, because sometimes people will come in and they have all the right intentions, but I'll ask one question, they'll break it into two different parts. And when they do that, they'll answer one part that they broke off. After they answer that one part that they broke off, then they come in for another 20 minutes and talk, and then they answer the second part, and then the question may as well not even gotten answered because people are all over the place. So can we agree on that?
100% agree, yeah.
Let's do it then. Let's do it. All right. So VNetwork, you guys are saying that you have the most unique co-designed smart contracts. So that right there is a big, bold statement. So how do you guys have the most unique co-designed smart contracts? That's the first thing that will come to an investor's mind once they read that.
So for somebody who is not aware of the classic development under Solidity, the easy answer will be our contracts are made with the latest security standards and following the latest versions of Solidity and adapting the code to those. For who's aware of the development and Solidity, the technical answer will be that many of the functions that were present in previous version of Solidity, such as SafeMat or other transfer function which were deprecated, has been replaced. MEV functions, anti-MEV function has been added to the smart contracts, and overall the security standards and everything that is related to transfer or calculation or locking or everything has been 100% revisited following the latest Solidity standards. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Um, uh, just some advice. Could you slow down a little bit in your speech?
Sure thing. 100% sorry.
Yeah, no problem, dude. So one other thing you guys said you do is that you bring speed to the DeFi space without corrupting reliability or um, competitiveness. All right. So could you please explain how you guys do that? How do you bring speed to the DeFi space without corrupting reliability or competitiveness?
Sure. So, first thing first, if anybody is aware with pre-sale and launchpads, they experienced a little bit of lag, a little bit of latency when they search for a pre-sale or just log in and search for all the listings of pre-sale now live or upcoming. And it takes a while. It takes from our testing of other launchpads, it takes around of a 15 seconds for loading just the first page of the list of the pre-sales. We have been improving this not only by smart contracts, as I said before, so having a little bit of faster code which can be read and interpreted faster. We use better nodes, which are the little servers that connects to the blockchain. Every D app has to be connected to a node. We use private ones. So we have our connection lightning fast, and we can load up to 15 pre-sales in less than 3 seconds. So that's how we do that. And the way we do without corrupting anything is because we do not use any other direct client to server connection. That means that everything that is loaded in the desktop or browser of the user is 100% client side and is not connecting with any server. So it's 100% decentralized. That's also why it can be lightning fast, as I say.
All right, it's pretty good. So pretty much the reason why you guys are bringing speed without corrupting reliability or competitiveness is because most pre-sale launch pads, they really lag, and because they really lag, it can be harder for people to, community pay attention to what I'm saying, because most pre-sales launch pads, they lag. So that can make it harder for people to buy in time. And that can cause a lot of frustration and potentially even the loss of funds. Um, Next thing is that they improve the speed by using faster code and using better nodes, which is what these decentralized apps and platforms rely on. They use private nodes, as a matter of fact. And there's no direct client to server orientation. Therefore, it's totally decentralized, and they can upload from about 15 pre-sales per 3 seconds. So this is the reason why they're bringing speed to the space without corrupting reliability or competitiveness. Just wanted to reiterate that to make sure everybody here really understands. All right. Not to say that you weren't clear, you were. I'm just speaking. I'm the host. I got to take care of the people. That's just my
Don't
job.
worry, don't worry.
Let's see. You got scalable. All right. Next up, I want to talk about the scalable, friendly protocol that you guys have to keep up with the latest tech. Okay, so how specifically are you guys keeping up with the latest tech? Like, what is the latest tech? Because that's a very broad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could think about, oh, you're trying to make something an AI, or then you're trying to make a trading bot. Like, there's so much that could go into latest tech. So, what do you specifically mean when you say that?
When we say latest tech, we do not refer to latest founding or latest hype trains or anything like that. When we say faster tech and latest tech, we mean the latest standards of technology in the crypto space. Many tokens, many projects claims they are decentralized or DeFi, although they still relate on centralized data servers, centralized databases, anything like that. We make sure that everything we do is on chain and visible for everybody. everything that is being, you guys will be interacting on our launchpads, on our locker, or our DEX is 100% decentralized, and nothing is server side, if not the hosting that is hosting the website. That's the only thing. But no, we're not in the idea of latest tech, meaning AI or trading bots or anything like that. We follow the latest standards of security and the latest standards of coding language. That's pretty much what makes us strong in this sector compared to the other launchpads which uses old smart contract technology, or as I said, are not scalable. As you said, sorry, are not scalable. That means that once they have deployed their contract, it's done, and they're not gonna release a new contract with the new standards. That's what we do, and what we believe is one of our strong points.
Got you. And that brings up another question. So you guys use the latest technology. So I remember you were mentioning how you use the latest, most upgraded version of Solidity, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, like, the way I'm thinking about it is, if there's a latest version of Solidity, and you upgraded from your old version, I mean, isn't that the same thing that everybody else has to do? Like, if there's an iPhone update, and so somebody updates their iPhone, or an Android update, and they update their Android, and they say they use the latest technology, isn't that kind of the norm if there's a new upgrade to be had?
That's quite correct, although not everybody do that, and not everybody, actually, quite nobody does that. And let me explain what I mean by that. Just by going on, for example, any launchpad right now available, you're gonna see that a pre-sale or a fair launch that was there, let's say 1-2 months ago, you're still able to fetch and find that pre-sale. That means that the smart contract has never been updated. That known exploits, known vulnerabilities that have been fixed, or speed levels that have been improved with other Solidity updates have not been implemented by them. And yeah, you can say that they could implement them and then run again and put the new smart contract up. You will not be able to see the older pre-sales. So as long as you're able to see old pre-sales, or they're not just going to put down maintenance and upgrade them, yes, you can say that it could be, because there are some things that are not really like that, but it could be that everybody could follow the latest technology, but they don't. And as I said, another thing, that we implement functions for anti-mevs, anti-bots, everything that has been possible with the new Solidity functions, Solidity versions. We have done it, and we are going to keep that pace of upgrading our smart contract with the latest version and latest securities, and keep them audited as well.
Okay. Now you guys, okay, and this is, we're about to get into your business right here. This is where we got to really dive deep in at, okay? So you guys said that you guys have a GM coming, but you have not, but you said it's coming soon.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said before.
You say you have
you
a
cut out
DF
for me.
coming soon.
We have a D app come soon. Yeah,
Okay.
our D app is already done. We have it ready to go. We are already beta tested and everything. We're just
Okay.
not released yet to the public. We had a fundraise before a private sale, and all our private investors actually beta tested the launchpad, the locker, the DEX. Everything is already 100% ready to use, and that's why we're going as well to use our launchpad to launch.
Okay. When will it be released?
It will be released probably just a few days before our launch, which our pre-sale, which will be on the 23rd.
Okay. Why release it on the 23rd? Why not release it now if it's done?
When releasing, sorry, what?
Why release it after the pre-sale instead of right now?
Oh, just because we are running our 3-week marketing campaign. We started on the 4th. We wanted to establish a community and have a bit of early marketing before launching, just because launching with a utility but having nobody is not a really great way to start. But as well, we decided to do our 3-week marketing campaign, which was already planned, because VNetwork is under development since October 2022. And right now we are in the ending of the 2nd week, and on Sunday 23rd is going to be the last day of the 3rd week. That's why.
Okay, and can you give us some details about the pre-sale? Is there any vesting? What percentage of the pre-sale of the token supply is going to pre-sales?
Sure thing. So, first of all, the only vesting that will occur is for private sale investors, as they bought for with a 20% bonus on their investment. There was a 10% total allocation for funds, and the entire allocation has been sold for around 166 BNBs, and they will occur in a 60-day vesting period without TGE and without cliffs. 100% will be released on the 16th day. For the pre-sale, no, there will be no vesting schedule. There will be no TGE. They will getting all the tokens as launching. They will be claiming their tokens, and the tokens are 100% interactable with. They can sell, buy, trade, transfer, whatever they will be willing to do with their tokens. They will be able to.
Okay, no problem. All right, cool. Another thing is, let me see. So, what would you say you guys' biggest noticeable competitive advantage is? Because you guys mentioned a lot about your technology upgrades, and that's a good thing. That's great. However, one thing is this: a lot of people don't know the difference between what's high tech technology and what's low tech technology. Like, I'll see some projects they'll have on their white paper, we use 675 gigahertz watts, whatever, and our speed is zero point 0.5 seconds and Apple's speed is 0.8 seconds. Like, nobody actually cares of a difference between 0.5 and zero point 0.8 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make somebody want to buy, you know? So what would you say is the biggest noticeable competitive advantage that you guys have? Like, our launch pads, we vet projects. We go through 2 layers of vetting, and then people are like, oh, so it's less likely I'm going to get scammed. It's more likely the project's going to be good and safe and make me more money. I like that. Like, something that's noticeable that people would care about. Not saying nobody cares about your technology. I'm just saying things that people would stick to.
So that's actually a great question, because that breaks down in 3 direct parts, which will be the first and the most important. As soon as we are going to launch, so when our platform, the app, will be available to everybody to see, it's when also everybody will be able to interact and use our the app. From there is going to be our version 1, which is going to have, first of all, the lowest fee on the market. That means that if anybody is going to run a pre-sale with us, they're going to occur in way less fees for creating a pre-sale than anybody else on the market. On top of that, we are already planning to release our version 2 of the app, which is going to meet both graphical revamp and fee structure refactoring. With that, we're going to drop again the fees on the Launchpad, because we're not planning to break the bank, we can say, with the Launchpad. We're not interested in making money with the Launchpad, but although we cannot have a Launchpad free to use, because that incentivizes scam tokens and scam projects to run a pre-sale with us. So there is going to be a refactoring of the fees, which are going to drop down, and we'll use 100% VNW or VNetwork token. So that's another thing. The third thing will be that so the V1 and V2, and the third thing, which is not a version, but is the fact that all the pre-sales, they're going to all the tokens that are going to host a pre-sale on our DApp are going to be required to deposit a minimum of 70% of whatever they raise in the pre-sale inside the liquidity. We believe that 51% is way too much, and we are quite upset, not the right word, pass me the term, with people that are farming pre-sale just for that 49% of tokens. Of BNBs. We understand that many people need funds for developing, for marketing, and whatever has to come. We believe that if a token and a project is structured well, they do not need 49% of what has been raised inside the pre-sale. And also, giving to the LP only 51% means you are creating a huge disparity between the tokens you sold and the BNB you are depositing. So from a perspective view of the investors, you are going to invest in a pre-sale which has a minimum of 70% liquidity with a minimum of 100 days a locking period for that liquidity. And on the part of the team, if they are legitimate and have good purpose, they're going to choose us not only on the V2 where the fees will be lower and just in tokens, but also on the V1 where the fees will be lower than all the competitive, and we literally give better with less costs. That's one of our main point. And we believe as well that with V2, we're going to implement some sort of tiering system where people will be able to use VNetwork tokens to purchase a tier, whatever is a one-time tier or whatever is a subscription. And with that, they're going to be able to join pre-sale with whitelist, for example, with vetted project, which we are going to do with our technical partner Solidity Finance, which also audits our contract and our customer run by our partners and so on. So we will do some sort of double or triple even vetting for projects when we're going to dig into each and everything, and also pointing our devs to the smart contracts to check that everything is right, and then double check with our partner Solidity Finance to see that the audit match the smart contract code. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alrighty, now let's talk about marketing. What marketing tools are you going to be using?
So right from start, we have been running our 3 marketing campaign, as I said before, and the last week was the fairly softer one when we decided to start just by having some ads, group calls, and some posts on other smaller lounge just to raise the starting awareness. From this week, we started to having the heavier call groups and lounges, and as well of running our ads. We are now running our test ads for Coinzilla on premium websites, just because we have a company behind us, which is Vanity Global OU. We can run ads on premium websites such as BSC Scan, Etherscan.io, CoinGecko, and so on. We have purchased many ads on BuyBots for several days, and in just 1 week and a half, we have been hitting around 600, close to 600 members on the new group. So that's what we're doing right now. After launch, we're going to start with the heavy marketing and contacting our we have 2 ambassadors already, which one of them is Tyler Hill, is an MMA fighter, a crypto investor, and he has a quite good YouTube channel. He talks about not project, but mainly 100 top 100 coins, and he's one of our ambassadors. And we're going to start spread the word, as well as having our developers, which works. One of them is Sir Tris, which works with many customers, and he will direct the people directly to our launchpad, because it's more competitive and with less usage fee and so on. So for the other strats of marketing, some have not been disclosed, but our CMO Mazi is doing a really great job, and he will always do. So yeah, we're pretty calm with that. Pretty sure that it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. And how will you maintain your community from? Well, first of all, you guys plan on being a long-term project?
If that's a question, yeah, for sure. With Vanity, we're around since 2021, so that's the goal.
All righty. So, how are you going to maintain the community and keep the excitement and the hype until the next bull run, man? Because I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, you can do good now, but things don't really get good until the bull run hits, you know? And a lot of people are coming in and out, you know what I mean?
I 100% agree. And one of the main thing is, with our community, which we already had from Vanity, we are well known for utilizing the beer market to build. Building is one of the main aspects that should never be overlooked inside the space. And we believe that having the right timing and having the right flow, workflow, or anything that is related to your project is always going to reflect on your community. Giving constant updates, engaging with your community on your Telegram, keep posting and keep giving updates, news, running AMAs, or even having, as we do now, our own Medium page where we're going to post at least 3 times a week, and people are going to be caught up with a reading, which is always nice, or even being able to hear the Medium made just by clicking the listen button on the Medium. We're going to keep engaging with the community and keep giving updates and new utilities, which one is already under development but not have been disclosed, to make sure that it will not get stolen. But so far, our idea is keep the community involved, just by keep building, keep giving updates, and keep respecting your deadlines and promises, keep following your roadmap, and so on. So we believe that transparency and showing your work and delivering is always going to be the main factor to have engagement in your community.
All righty. Okay. So, tell us more about the team's background. You guys made any successful projects before in the past?
Yeah, well, we made a successful project. As I said, Vanity is a project since 2021 who reached around 20 million market cap, is now sitting in a half million market cap, but we have used this period to build. And Vanity is a well alive project which we are going to implement in VNetwork, because VNetwork stands for Vanity Network, and VNetwork is the firstborn to create the fundamentals for our Vanity ecosystem. Vanity is a project that, as I said, is alive since 2022, May 27th, 2022. And with Vanity, we created a way to create wallet for people utilizing split key generation, which is a bit harder, but for the easy part is we're able to generate custom wallet addresses for people without getting in touch with any private key. And that project has been upgraded. The last upgrade has been done last year, where in the middle of beer market, we decided to have a security update when we switch from anything that was connected to a server to a client base and decentralized. So we're keep building even in the bear market. As I said, I have a background of around 8 years in blockchain. I've been studying the blockchain and how it works since 2015 around, when Bitcoin, and I was there when Ethereum was launched for the first time, and I was one of the people who believed that Ethereum would be a profitable thing to mine when it was worth pretty much nothing. Haven't had the chance to do that, but I have a strong passion for crypto and overall decentralized finance. My wife, we are married for 1 year and a half, and she's pretty much being dragged in this world of crypto by me, which I was very passionate to say, let's start and look if there is something we can do and we can bring to the blockchain, which has not been done yet. And that's how I brought her in. And she has zero knowledge of blockchain, and now she is very, very good and pretty much everything, aside of developing, of course. And Mazi is our CMO, as I said, and he has a strong background as well in marketing. He had 2 companies. I believe he sold one recently. And so, as you know, selling a company is always because somebody decided to buy it. So that's great. That means that was doing good. And he has a strong background as well in marketing, advertising, and so on. So we believe we have the dream team right now. And also we have our advisors, 2 advisors, which are from the UK. And yeah, we've been in touch for several years at this point, since the start of Vanity, and they're still with us and advising us and guiding us on where they think there is going to be the right path and right way, as well as we're always being, as I said, focusing even on the beer market, and that's a little outgoing, but we have been running as well our ads on the streets of London back in 2021, I think, or 22, or early 22 maybe. So we're not stopped by any bear market. We're happy to have another bull market, but that's who we are and what we do pretty much every day.
All right, man. Well, that's it for my questions. Good work, man. Good job. I appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much.
Absolutely. You were direct and concise with your answers. You didn't ramble on after the question or split the question up and just ramble and confuse everybody. You answered the question, every question I asked. There was no sort of deliberately going sideways trying to avoid the question. So, yeah, man, good work. I like it.
Thank you so much. There is no point to dodge questions if you have the answer and know what you're doing here. So I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, you've clearly got that stuff, man. So let's go ahead and get to the community questions. I'm going to go ahead and, if y'all want to ask questions, this is the time to put your hands up. All right, here we go. Sir Trust, you can go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. The floor is yours.
Yeah, good day, this. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
It's been a long time here.
You want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, just want to ask a simple and direct question from the uh guest.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I see a lot of projects these days, and many projects every day and every weeks. But most of the time, projects keep on coming with empty promises. Like we have a project that lost today, in a few weeks more, they are not really here to be funded again. And these have been consistent in the market. So I just want to ask from our guests, what are those practical and those visible things you have put in place that will make us ensure that this project is for long run, not just for few weeks, for few days, that this project will run for years, not just for few weeks.
So, thank you so much for the question. And I will say that first of all, just by having started our deploying from 2022 October 2021st, no, 24th, yeah. We have a product ready. We never said that we are going to release this, and this product. We are entering the first launch, our launch, with a already working project and a working product, which is something that is really, really strong. And we believe that everybody should have at least an utility, which is not staking or reflection or anything like that, already on launch. On top of that, we use this time, since we have started our development with VNetwork, to formulate and test our own staking formula for stablecoins. We're going to provide, and when I say we are going, it's just because we need just time to develop the smart contracts that are going to handle that. But thanks to a mix of Web 2 and Web 3, we are going to provide the highest API on stablecoin staking on the market. So whenever you're going to look for, we're going to provide the highest return per investment on the on our DApp. Sorry. On top of that, I said that we are going to release another product which is not being disclosed because we're afraid of that being stolen. But that product only will bring for us not only people that are from different communities or partnership or also things like that, but that will bring us free marketing, which is something that is also very, very well, because not having to spend funds on that side for marketing, but of course we're going to, but not for that specific thing. It's something that will help for the long-term vision, because you're still developing and creating new stuff and have things line up, and having another token behind VNetwork, which is Vanity in a project, and most importantly, a company which helps to do things like press releases, ads on premium on premium websites, or interviews as well, because some news, crypto news spaces will not take you if you're not a company or signing anything as a company. So pretty much we are going to stick with our idea, developing, providing, delivering, and be transparent with our community. That's how we want to ensure and giving our transparency to people that we are staying here for the long term. Of course, there's going to be people who will make their 2x and go out, people who even will be getting less, but that does not mean that we are not going to keep building and keep giving updates and keep being engaged with our community. So I hope this answered your question. If not, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for the answer to the question. So I just from the answer, I just want to proceed with my second question. So with good utility projects, there are two things that they are facing in the market. One of it is how to deliver a well-functioning utility, and the second one is proper marketing of the utility for a well adoption by the users. So how are you dealing with these two things? How will you market your products in a such a way that it will be adopted by the user and for the efficiency of the utility?
So for the first thing is we're going, as we said, to launch our new products with not having any deadline, because we believe the deadlines actually limits the quality of what you're launching. And as well, on top of that, it's always safe and secure to have your investors aware of your development stage. As for the marketing of these new products, we believe that the word of mouth is the strongest thing you can have. And just by having projects that are going to understand how cheap it's going to be to launch with VNetwork, and how good it's going to be to host their pre-sales and host everything with a fast and reliable platform, is going to be also for their investors as well. Also, as I said, the word of mouth, because investors will notice such a huge difference. As I said, as DC said before, we're not talking on a fraction of millisecond. We're not talking on a fraction of second. We're talking on an increase of over around 90% performance increase with our Launchpad, and with our Launchpad Locker and DEX, of course, and the simplicity as well of interacting with that. So we believe that the first thing that will help is the people, the investors that are going to share the Launchpad with their own projects and saying, yo, you're interested in launching, why don't you launch with VNetwork? They have less fees. They're known for having higher liquidity, but that's safer for the investors. They're known for cheap fees, and word of mouth is one of the strongest things, as well as having your right path of advertising with ads, with call groups, sticking with the same call groups also, and having different AMAs every time you have an update. It's also a way to engage more times with their community as well. So pretty much those are the main points you have to follow with the marketing and releasing and delivering your products.
Thank you very much for the answer. I really enjoyed. Thank you, VC. But let me just ask the last question. Sorry for my
Hey, wait,
question is too
excuse me.
much.
Hey, sir, trust man, my man,
Okay,
you're
thank
taking
you,
up a
sir.
lot of
Thank
mic.
you.
You did good, but you've been taking up a lot of time, G. We gotta keep on going.
Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
see you,
Thank
man.
you.
Nah, but good work though, for real, man. I like that. All righty. Let's go to Benjamin, because he been and had his hand up. Okay, Benjamin. There you go. Your mic's unmuted. I'm gonna hop off.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My
What's
question
up, man?
is, yeah, good evening. My question is, what is your plans on, we've seen so many projects after launching and after the 2x, 3x, they just collapse. What's your plan on sustaining liquidity for the token? What's your plan on sustaining liquidity for your token? That's my first question.
I'm not 100% what you mean by sustaining liquidity of the token. As
I got it. I can answer it for you. So
okay,
what he
thank you.
wants to know is when the people typically will have a pre-sale. It does a 2x, and instead of people having the attitude of how much money could I make, they have the attitude of how fast can I sell. And so as a result, he wants to know that if it dumps 90%, how can he know this is going to explode again and make a new all-time high?
Oh, well, so first of all, one main thing to look for is going to be the V2 of the D app, which is going to use 100% VNetwork tokens. This means that having a cheaper fee but having to pay in tokens is going to mean that the projects and probably as well the investors who want to purchase a subscription, a tier subscription, or just one-time subscription are going to pay in tokens, 100% pure VNetwork tokens. So one thing that will be it's about applying buy pressure on the chart itself by utilizing your own tokens on your own platform. On top of that, having your token means that you are, utilizing your token on your platform will mean that you will be able to manage those tokens on on how we will do it. It's going to be burn the token, so adding deflectionary method with that way, and burns the token that will have to be used is something that will reduce the circulating supply, which means that each token is going to be rarer on quotes, and so means that the price of each token will raise up because the circulating supply is lower. On top of that, we cannot say and focus only 100% on the price, as we're not able to predict how the market will go. But what we can say is that our fee on the tokens are actually going to help sustain the project well, as there is a 10% fee where 3% is going to be collected in a shared treasury, which is going to be used for advertisement, marketing, development, paying pretty much ads or anything that has to be paid, designers, freelancers that work with us, smart contracts, audits, So whatever expense, I'm saying expense, is going to be made for the token itself is going to be covered from that. So as well of buybacks, we can ensure to make buybacks on the token, buyback and burn, of course, of the token. Another thing that we believe is going to help people being more confident with our token is the fact that we have a 0% team allocation of tokens. We do not hold any tokens, and we're not going to hold any token because our revenue is generated from trading volume. And that means that from an investor perspective, investors should be able to see that we are more interested in trading volume and incentivizing trading buys on our token. So as well, if we are incentivized just because it's our way of revenue, is going to ensure trust on as well on our investors that that's our goal. The goal is to have a successful token alongside a successful product. Hope that answered your question, man.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the answer. I think I want to ask one other question. The question is this crypto space is all about solving problems, bringing solutions to problems that are in the space. So now, what are the problems that this token is going to solve? What are the problems it's going to solve in the crypto space? Because if it's not going to solve any problem, then it is just like every other token, and there is nothing to encourage the investors to invest in this token. So what are the problems it has the potentials to solve? Thank you.
With this question, I'm kind of going to repeat myself because this has been a little bit explained already on the AMA. Just by looking at the previous answer, you can see that from an investor point of view, you just by holding the tokens are going to face a buy pressure because people have to purchase the token in order to utilize the create pre-sales on the launchpad on a project side. But I'm going to repeat myself just because when you are going to hold your token, you are going to benefit from people who are going to use your D app, and from that you are solving the issue of greedy greedy launchpads, where they charge unreasonable fees, unreasonable percentage of BNB raise, and an unreasonable percentage of token creating disparity as well on the project. But that's a bit of repetitioning because we can answer that before as well. So yeah, hope that answered the question though.
Yeah, to an extent. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for the question.
Good work, Benjamin. All right, Sujay, go ahead, man.
Hey, DC. Hey, DC.
What's up, big dog?
Oops. Am I audible?
You go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, DC. Sorry about that. Hope I'm audible now.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. So I had a couple of things going through your white paper. The first one is with the shared treasury wallet, right? Now, I understand the idea. It makes the life for the project owners easy because you have all of your stash in one place and you can use it for whenever you want. But as an investor, if I'm tracking this wallet, it's going to be difficult for me to understand what the funds are being used for. So there could be a challenge of transparency. So because you have things like business expenses listed under what the shared treasury is going to be used for. So, and coming from the corporate world, I know any expense can be billed as a business expense, right? And so how does an investor feel about that, and how do you sort of keep it transparent to the investors?
So that's actually a great question, and shout out to you because I really like that you have been going through through the white paper. That's something that not many people do, and do your own research is always the best thing. As DC said at the start, don't take anything as a financial advice, but always do your own researches. And I really like that. So to answer your question, first of all, I'll have to dig a bit on who we are and how we do things, because with Vanity, every expense has always been declared and always been said, look, we're spending this for this, and this. Being on the blockchain helps a little bit because we can let everybody see all the tracks of every spend, but pretty much the expenses you will be able to see, actually the expenses that you won't be able to see, sorry, are the monthly one. For example, having to pay Netlify as hosting the app, having to pay Pinata Cloud for hosting your NFTs, which we are right now for Vanity. So I'm talking a little bit on the business expenses, business corporate expenses, as you see in the white paper. For example, as well on annual fee of your company, because we are based in Italy, but in Italy it's not possible to open a company related to crypto because we do not have legislation yet about that. So our company is in Estonia, and opening a company in Estonia, business expenses for opening that was paying for the e-residency card, which is a card that actually is like a document to sign online. It's a card, sorry, for signing online documents as you will be in Estonia, but you not need to. Or any other expenses as for legal person is called, I recall is called legal person. So it's pretty much a company that actually gives you an address in Estonia and an office where you can open the company in. So the business expenses, when I say business expenses, I refer strictly on monthly expenses for the hosting and annual expenses for the business. All of that you're going to see that are going to be on the same date, and on the same time, and always being on track like that. On the other side, one thing that you will learn from us if you will be joining us, of course, is our transparency. We're always, and never did anything contrary to that, we always been declaring every single spend, every single transaction that we have made. Even in our private cell raising, we have declared all the expenses we had, and even told when we refuse some kind of marketing ideas or for example, development inquiries where they were too high for our budget at that moment. So everything is always updated on the investor side and on the payment. But being on the blockchain, you actually gave me an idea here, which is having a page on the white paper to help tracking the expenses. So what we can do, and that's what I mean by interacting as well with the community, because always the community helps you build idea. And all the time we're going to do an expense, we're going to update a little page which we can call like expense record or shared treasury record. When we give the transaction and we explain what the transaction has been, what the payment is for and what it's going to provide, and everything in detail. Apart from, because there's something that may sometimes be better to not divulge, and is your in-depth marketing strategy. For example, we can say we have our ads here, but not like saying we have our ads on Coinzilla, but don't say on which sites you have, because we have experienced that people from your community click on your ads, and that makes you use your money. But that's a great idea that you actually gave me, and is having everyone own page inside a white paper, tracking all the expenses from the shared wallet. So shared treasury wallet. So I hope that answered your question. If not, feel free to tell me.
No, that did. I mean, as long as all the expenses are declared, I think that's all that matters. I'm glad that came out of this question. Okay, the second thing I was looking at is the VDEX, right? Now, you've mentioned you're not going to go with the traditional AMM, the DEX aggregators, but instead you're going to host your own liquidity pools deposited by users and the project itself. Now, this for a new project starting out, for a new swap, I'm thinking if there's not enough liquidity pool, it's going to end up not giving users the best prices because the spread is going to be high and they'll have to use high slippage. It comes with a whole lot of problems unless you find a way to like really have a thick liquidity in all your pools. So why go with your own liquidity pools instead of the tried and trusted AMM?
So that's another good question because we're not going to use only our DEX. We know and we understand that a DEX is not going to blow off the first day that it's launched, but it's going to require liquidity, it's going to require trading volume, and it's going to require maintenance. So one thing that we're going to do is first our token is going to be listed, our liquidity is going to be deposited either PancakeSwap or 1inch. Because we haven't decided yet. Actually, we're not going to decide, but our community will decide on which chain we're going to launch based on a community pool, which will be hosted since Monday till the 22nd, so one day before the pre-sale, so we know where to deploy our contracts. But we believe and we understand that people are not going to use directly from the day one our DEX. What we're doing though to actually incentivize our investors to use our DEX is generating LP on our own DEX. That means that, first of all, generating your own LP by transaction means that we are generating both for Vanity and VNetwork. We generate for each of them, and 0.5% of every transaction generate liquidity for VNetwork, and 0.5% generate liquidity for Vanity on the VDEX. So we're starting to build our own liquidity inside of that. As well, being both on the BSC kind of helps a bit for giving some arbitrage levels, and that also increases your trading volume. So for example, having, for who's not really aware of what's arbitrage, having two liquidity pairs means that you're going to have two different prices, and not being AMM, which is automated market automated market maker, which is, for example, PancakeSwap or 1inch that utilizes different DEXs to find where is the best DEX to actually make the trade. So incentivizing people to make trade on our DEX because prices may be different. This means that people may buy from our DEX and sell on PancakeSwap, and since in quite some times the price are going to level up to around the same price, then somebody's going to buy on PancakeSwap or somebody's going to buy on VDEX, and then the price disparity increases and people are going to arbitrage. That the thing that taking advantage of different prices, buying low and sell high, is what the arbitrage is. And we are incentivizing as well the trading volume with that. So that's another idea that we have in mind. But we 100% understand that we're not going to blow up on the first day of the DEX. But another thing of the DEX is that compared to the competitors, we do not offer a 0.25% fee, but we offer a 0.18% fee on the DEX, which is redistributed inside the liquidity holders. So if you hold a liquidity token, and your liquidity token is going to get rewards from each trade of that liquidity. So I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry if I kind of lost myself.
No problem. Yeah, that did. So it's going to be more of a hybrid model. Fair enough. I appreciate your answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions, and actually thank you for giving me the idea of adding a page on the white paper. That was nice. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sujay. That was really great. What I really appreciate about Sujay is that he actually goes and reads the white paper and asks thorough, detailed questions that answer a specific thing. He doesn't just ask broad, basic questions. So really appreciate
I love that. I love people who actually dig into a project and familiarize themselves with what they do. And as I said before, and I'm taking your words, never take anything as a financial advice. Don't throw your money to people, but do your own research and understand if that's worth or not. So that's what I really liked about Sujay.
Mm-hmm. Me too. All of us. So, all right. So here we go. We got some comment questions now. Most of these questions are just, just very basic. So let's move through this quickly so we can get back to the VC questions because they just tend to be more detailed. All right. So let's move through this quickly. All right. Justin wants to know: can anyone launch a project? Is there a criteria?
Pretty much, yeah. As anybody can launch their project on other launchpads. Sorry. They're going to be able to launch a project with us. As I said, nothing has to be taken as a financial advice, but always do your own research. So if anybody decides to launch with VNetwork, you should always check into the project, check the white paper, check the team, ask your question, and feel confident with your own money on what you're doing. But yes, everybody will be able to launch on VNetwork without any restriction.
All right, cool. All right, Crypto Sun wants to know what special can't be found on another blockchain, and this isn't a blockchain, and what problem do you guys solve?
I might not understand what's special. Is that on the comments so I can read the question as well? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm Italian, so sometimes I don't understand everything.
No, dude, comment questions are hard to understand, dude. I'm just bringing them to, and let me just also put this in. Just because I asked the question doesn't mean you haven't explained it. I just have, like I said, I have to get people's questions in the comments, So I'm trying to pick the best of what I can find.
Mm-hmm. No, but I didn't understand the question. That's the problem. I'm sorry.
Okay. But he just wants to know what special do you guys do that can't be found anywhere else?
Oh, what specialty we do? Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Not being greedy with your own fees. We, as I said, we do not plan on making a huge amount of money on the launchpad. We just want to give the blockchain something that is cheaper, faster, and actually usable, and that can be interacted with our token ourselves. We have seen too many launchpads saying, "Oh, you will be able to pay with our token. You will be able to pay just a part with our token." So that's another thing that we're going to do: implementing our token and incentivizing people of holding the tokens that way.
Okay. Another question. This is a question from me, man. Also, what country are you based in?
As I said, we're based in Italy. I'm Italian.
Okay.
But Mazi, our CMO, is based in Norway.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay, that's cool. All right, let's go to Benova. All right, Benova, I'm unmuting your mic. You can go ahead. Good day, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, DC. Can you hear me?
Hey, buddy. What's up, man?
I'm good. Thank you for this opportunity. Great project, VNetwork. I've been listening for quite a long time. I want to ask, during the course of the year, you mentioned that you'll be having a high APY in the staking pool. My question is, how do you intend to, sustain the high APY? Because, in due times, I've been seeing so many projects that come up with a high APY, but they are unable to sustain it. That's my question. I want to ask, how will you sustain the high APY in the staking pool?
So first of all, the staking is not going to be related directly with our token, but it's going to be related with stable coins. You're going to stake stable coins to earn stable coins. So the token there is not mentioned and is nothing to do with that. The way we do it, we're not going to disclose, of course, exactly how we do that, because that's something we've been working on for almost a year, developing our own way of creating this formula. But the only thing we can say is we've been melting together both Web 2, Web 3, and even in real life. So a lot of things that do not exactly mean that is not related to the blockchain anything, because we're talking about stablecoins. So you're going to stake your stablecoins, lock for 3, 6, 12 months, and you're going to get your 10, 15, 20% API on the stable coins you staked. So if you're staking $100 and you're getting 20% API, and the end of the year you're going to get $120, just as an example, of course. But we're not going to share, of course, our formula or how we do that. But if you might have thought, because I think from the question you might have mixed the token and the staking with the stable coins. The token is not going to be inside that staking with the API, but it's just for stable coins only. Hope that answered your question, man.
Yeah, and I want to ask, if someone wants to like unstake, maybe because of emergency, he needs funds, and I want to ask, would there be any penalty?
You mean unstaking before the locking period is done?
Yeah.
So pretty much they're not going to be able to unlock before the staking period is done, because first of all, that way you are creating centralization, and we believe that decentralization is something that we are strict to. That means that, for example, you deposit your amount, you lock it for 3 months, and 2 months you want to take that out. Based on the zero knowledge locker system we use, neither you or us are able to take the token out before the end of the locker itself. Utilizing zero knowledge means that nobody can actually modify the way that function work. And that's another great thing to do, because if you actually implement ways to avoid to follow the path of the smart contracts, that could and will be taken as a vulnerability sometimes. So that's a thing that we are not going to implement, neither any kind of penalty, because that has no sense, penalizing user money just because he has staked with us. Hope that answered the question, man.
Yeah, and thank you for your sincerity. Thank you, DC, for this opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, CC, go ahead, man. Your mic's on. I gotta get some. And you the last question too.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna make it quick. Thank you,
Yep.
DC. One question I wanted to ask was based on the development using Solidity, developing on the blockchain. I know you should have some repositories on GitHub, and then all the codes you also write, and then the admin keys are also locked on the blockchain. But one question I wanted to ask is kind of simple question. So, what relationship does the repositories on the GitHub, how does it relate to the repositories also on the blockchain? What role does the repositories on GitHub play in building the smart contract for the code on Solidity blockchain network?
So first of all, hi CC again. That's a question you already did another time in another place. But to answer that question again, is going to be that, as I told you last time, the smart contracts are not interacting in any way with GitHub. We use GitHub only for our D app on our front end, which means that is connected to Netlify, which is an hosting for running your repository on GitHub and having them running as a website. But other than that, everything that is connected or the user is interacting to is 100% decentralized. That means that nothing is server side. So all the calls you make are not going to be to a server, but are going to be directly to the blockchain itself. So there is no vulnerability in utilizing in this way, at least, GitHub. There are no keys shared on GitHub. There are not APIs issued by us or anything like that. Hope that answered the questions again.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, it's not actually the question, but I'd say it's related to the question. But yeah, you kind of cleared it up for me once again, actually. So yeah, thank you.
No worries, you're welcome.
All right. CC, that's what's up, man. Good question, buddy. That's what's up, dude. All righty. That concludes the AMA half. All right. Let me go ahead and hit Dumbledore up with all the winners. The best questions, the trivias, are going straight to Dumbledore right now. And boom, they are sent out. All winners will be getting their notifications. All righty. Let me see. Okay. Yep.